Hello everyone, my name is Tenzin. I completed the virtualization project and I'd like to discuss about the first part of the project. And this is my vCenter and I like to show the host, data store, and port group for the VM. And as you can see here, I used host ESXi0. Instead of putting the host name, I used the IP address of that host. And the port group, this machine is on DPGVM, and data store, we used FreeNAS iSCSI. And also like to show the cluster we used for this machine. We created a HADRS cluster and we used that for the cluster. And I'd like to show the two hosts that I have created. It's the first one right here is the ESXi host 0 and the bottom one is the 1. And inside the host we created a virtual switches. As you can see, we have switch 0, 1, 2. In switch 0 we have management network and VM network. And in switch 1 we have the iSCSI 0 and 1. As you can see, the IP address of the iSCSI 0 and 1 down here. And we use adapter 2 and 3 for that. And we also have a vMotion 0 and 1. As you can see, I configured the IP address of vMotion 0 and 1 here. We use VMK 3 and 4 for that, and physical adapter NIC 6 and 7. And we also did the same thing for the other hosts as well. As you can see, virtual switch 0 and 1. We have iSCSI 0 and 1. And in switch 2, I have vMotion 0 and 1. And storage adapter, use that. And data store, FreeNAS iSCSI, use that. Type as a VMFS6 and network. As you can see, DPGVM port, we use that. And also like to show the load balancer. I actually have a screenshot of that here. As you can see, my load balancer, I have two server. Put the IP, the DNS server IP address, and as you can see, each time you refresh it, it goes from server 1 to 1 and 2. Okay. Now I like to go to the second part of the project, which we did in AWS. So in AWS, says briefly explain your AWS environment. Okay. So in the AWS environment, the first thing we built was the security groups, and those are like the firewalls rule. It tells us what traffics are permitted in or out of the resource. For instance, on the Bastion server, we allowed public access from the school network. The only school network can access that resource. Where on the web server we did 0.0.0.0, which allows all traffic from the internet to the website because we want the website to be publicly accessible. And the next thing we built the virtual machine. Virtual machines are computing resources. We built a data server that holds the database. We built a web server that holds the web traffic, and we also built a Bastion server, which was like the management server that gave us access to the other resources. And third thing we built in the AWS was the load balancer. What load balancer did was it allowed traffic to go to both servers. Uh, it bounces out the traffic, and it also allows failover. For example, in the event if that one server dies, the other one will pick up where it left off. And here's the question, how it all fits together. So it all kind of fits together because we deploy a web application using security groups, a database, a web server, load balancer that allowed a user to access the server. That's how everything fit together. And on the bottom, there are some questions. Why might an organization build a VMware cluster similar to the one in this project? They do that because they might have special requirements or and might be more cost effective. And why might an organization build an AWS environment similar to the one in this project? They do that because of two things. They don't have to pay upfront for hardware cost because you don't need to buy anything upfront to make AWS work. You only pay for what you need, and they also can scale resource as needed. Why might an organization choose to combine both cloud and on-premises infrastructure? Uh, because we can use the cloud to expand capacity and if need more storage, instead of buying more hard drives, we can kind of leverage the cloud. We could cloud as an extension or a way to expand the current capacity in the cloud. Thank you. And that is all. That's my project I did for virtualization infrastructure. And thank you guys. See ya.